Hello, and welcome to the 38th episode of the Queen Bee Book Club podcast. I'm Audrey.
And I'm Cher.
And we are your Queen Bees. Once again, it's been a bit of time since we re-recorded.
Listen, it's the summer. We've been really busy. And actually, we both had rescheduled on each other this time.
Yeah, I was actually really happy when you were like, hey, I need to reschedule, because I feel like it's been me needing to reschedule a lot lately. And so it really pleased me when your flight was delayed and it was you that had to do it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's just,
I was on the tarmac for 4 hours. They did not let us off the plane. United Airlines, I'm never flying them again. Just like a tiny complaint corner about it. So it started out on a bad note because they have this new thing where if you can like book, it like looks like you're picking the cheapest fare, which of course I always do. Like I'm not flying business class ever. So I picked the cheapest fare, which like apparently does not come with a carry-on bag.
yeah. They're like express fare or whatever.
Yeah, it basically is like instead of like mileage plus, it's like mileage minus.
Yeah, I mean it's basically like you're lucky to be here, frankly. Like
we should make you stand in the aisles like cattle. But yeah, so I get an email after I booked my flight and they were like, oh, like, did you know that you booked this other kind of fare? And I'm like, no, I didn't. And so then I had to take a survey of like, how obvious was it that you were like booking this other kind of fare? And I'm like, not obvious at all. So anyway, but I sort of was like, I didn't care enough to like try to call United and change it or to like cancel my flight and rebook my flight. So I was just like, whatever. Like I can check my bag once in my life.
Yeah.
But anyway,
wait,
there was
you
like
flew home like with a carry-on bag?
Oh yeah, I never ever check ever.
Oh my god. But like what about your liquids?
I don't bring big liquids.
Okay.
Ever. Like what liquids are you bringing?
I don't know. Like even when
like
I flew,
booze?
no.
I'm kidding.
When I flew for your wedding, I checked a bag because I was like, I want to bring all the makeup and hairspray that I want to bring, and I don't want to worry about it. Which I guess I could have. I mean, I might have been able to make that work, but I didn't want to worry. I just wanted to have all the lipstick I wanted.
But like lipstick is not a liquid.
I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
I don't think
I didn't
that
want them
counts.
to take my lipstick.
And I don't think any of your lipsticks are larger than like 100 milliliters.
It's just a lot of stuff that adds up. And I was like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that I ever am sort of like, oh, darn, is like my favorite perfume that I have is in a roller. And I know it's less than 100 milliliters, but it doesn't say on it. And I've had stuff taken away before just because it was unlabeled.
That's ridiculous.
So, or it's like I have this much left in something, but it's like labeled with a like a large milliliter thing, and they take that away. But yeah, no, my like family kind of shames us into always carrying on, and that's really stuck with me.
Yeah, I mean, I almost always do, but it just gets a little stressful when you're trying to deal with liquids, I think.
I also think I'm not really ever bringing that much back and forth anymore either, because largely I have like at my parents' house, like I have a moisturizer, I have sunscreen.
That's true.
Like I have all of that stuff, so it's not really necessary for me to worry.
Yeah.
But I also have like tons of travel size stuff if I had to bring.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so that sucked. Hate you, United. Don't sponsor us because we don't want you. Anti-sponsor you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I've been in the throes of moving.
Yes. How is your place?
It's really nice.
This is my first view of it. This
I know.
Tiny postage stamp view of it.
I've got 2 windows. So.
Are you in your room? Oh my god, that's a huge change.
Look.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2 whole windows. Yeah.
Like bright as could be.
I know.
You'll wake with the sun.
I know. I've been waking up earlier than usual because I'm not used to having the sun there. I'm like, so I have gotten some curtains. But yeah, we're still very much in the nascent stages where it's like we've unpacked our stuff, but we need to like finish making it a home. Like I need to figure out.
It's very early.
Yeah. And I'm still like in the market for a dresser. So it's like I don't want to fully hang up a bunch of pictures. Like I have a pretty big blank wall up right across from my bed that I have been avoiding doing anything with because that would be where I would put my dresser. So I don't want to.
Would you put a TV?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's like kind of the only thing I can think of with a blank wall.
Yeah. I thought about doing like a gallery wall on it, but again, like I just don't know how much room a dresser will take up. So
let me also give you a piece of advice about gallery walls. They get so crooked so fast.
Yeah.
Like you saw the one at our old apartment. At this apartment, we ended up hanging none of them together, and they're all separate because I'm like, I can't deal with that gallery wall again.
Not doing it.
No. And especially since we like had to use the stick-on things for this apartment, like not even pin hooks. Oh, I also just want to give you a heads up because this is a classic share move. This week was like, you know what? Like you have like 4 days that you don't have anything going on, and the least you could do is like actually like meal plan well and have like good dinners for 4 days. And so I have Chrissy Teigen's cookbook.
Oh my God.
Cravings. I don't know if you know that one. But she has this recipe for scalloped potatoes, which is one of my favorite foods. And I'm like, oh, Brennan would love that too. So I failed. I bought all the ingredients and failed to recognize that it's a 3-hour process to make this dish. So I started it and then I was like, shit. Like it's like I started at probably 6:30 and I'm like, we won't be eating this until 10.
Yeah.
So, and like, cause you have to peel like 100 potatoes and like, it's a huge ordeal. Anyway, so they're in the oven now for another hour and a half. And Brendan and I had Annie's mac and cheese.
Perfect.
So at some point, if we're on here for more than an hour and a half, you will hear my oven and I will have to go get those out of there. But anyway.
I look forward to it.
Yeah.
I also was at a family wedding this weekend that took up some time of mine. I've been driving all day back into the Maryland area. You'll all be happy to know that peak, drunk Audrey was achieved in that during the bouquet toss, I took offense to them using the song Single Ladies. And I told them specifically at my wedding to not use it because you told me you took offense. Yeah, and I threw a middle
my
finger
wedding planner
toward the
was
DJs.
Like, what?
I said, and I threw a middle finger toward the DJs.
Oh my God. Did you catch it though?
No, I didn't. My new favorite thing to do with the bouquet toss is to pick someone that I am like angling to catch it. Like at your wedding, I was trying to get Mary Kate to do it.
My 18-year-old sister.
I went up to her and I was like, I want this for you.
Mary Kate's like, I don't even want this for
She's like,
me.
No. And I was like, come on, like we're gonna get it for you. So I chose my cousin Frankie's girlfriend. I was like, Sydney, it's all you. Like, it's happening.
Did she get it?
She didn't. It was somebody else.
Oh, shit. I have caught a bouquet, and I was engaged the next year, so I believe in that shit.
Look at you.
I mean, I'm just saying.
But yeah.
Like, literally a year later, I was engaged.
I also was, like, drunk with power as well because the DJs were very willing to take suggestions. And, like, they would play your suggestion next. And so it was
that is instant gratification. And also, like, this is a wedding. Like,
I was up there.
Didn't they have a
every
playlist
other
they wanted?
song. No, I mean, my family tends to be pretty chill about that kind of stuff. And so I was up there as soon as I had an idea. I would be like, Kendrick Lamar, Humble, go. And they'd be like, all right.
Dancing Queen, ABBA.
Yeah, no, I was in one of those moods where I was like, we're playing the rap songs now from my high school experience. And I'm very sore.
That's a mood.
Because I was dropping it low as I'm wont to do.
God, remember when we did that? Was it Lauren's birthday or your birthday one year? Like, both of us did it. many a time. We were at Mission, of course.
Oh, yep. I do remember that. Well, and then I remember being really sore before Annie's wedding because I'd been doing like squats or something at the gym, and I was like, well, maybe this will keep me higher up. It didn't.
It did not.
I powered through the pain.
Yeah, you gotta.
As always.
You gotta. Well, Audrey, you also have some big news. So
I know.
Share it with the group.
I'm now gainfully employed as an English teacher, which is very exciting. I'm really looking
Those kids are so damn lucky. They don't even, like,
Thank
I
you.
just can't wait until you become an icon of all these children.
All of my fantasies are like, have you ever seen Mona Lisa smile?
Yeah, 800 years ago.
Yeah. Well, it's like, the fantasy of being like the like subversive teacher. Yeah, she plays a real witch with a B.
Okay. Is Julia Roberts in it?
Yeah, but
okay, yes,
she's like the main teacher.
Is this a romantic comedy?
It's not. I wouldn't say. I don't know. It's like a weird. It was like basically. I think they were trying to make like the female Dead Poets Society.
Okay, I was just gonna add it to my list of romantic comedies, but turns out I can't.
But I love the idea though of like the new edgy teacher that everyone really likes, but then only lasts a year. I was like, well, maybe that I shouldn't be really angling for that. It's like get a little more longevity in there. But
no, I think you're gonna be great. I can't think of any teacher movies right now, but when I do think of who you'll be... Oh, no. You won't be that.
Sorry. Quentin's trying to FaceTime me. No.
Buzz off, Quentin. She's FaceTiming me.
I'm busy.
But
yeah,
I was going to say Miss Honey from Matilda.
Oh my God.
Not me, though, at all. I'm like, nice teacher.
But I've been doing some of the reading for my 11th graders, and they're reading Catcher in the Rye.
My favorite.
So I'm very, excited to teach them that, Holden.
This boy is trash.
Has an appeal that I understand, but you should run from a boy like that.
Yeah, and just to remember that,
I feel like any high school boy, though, it's like, no, like, because I'm reading another book that the 9th graders are going to be reading, and, like, the boyfriend is, like, kind of on paper, he seems good, but at the same time, I keep writing dump him in the margins, so I think I'm just suspicious of all teenage relationships. I'm like, I don't trust these girls to be picking anyone for themselves.
You should be. I mean, I think with Catcher in the Rye, I think every girl's dream is to be the Jane in Holden's fantasy. Like, that, I think, is what is so appealing about Holden Caulfield, is that there could be this complicated, damaged boy who has idolized you from afar for years.
Oh, 100%.
And that is, like, there's nothing better.
That fantasy first, like, popped into my radar when I was in the 1st grade. Like, the idea of... Like, I remember, like, enjoying the idea of other people looking at you, like, with admiration, but you not knowing it. Like, I used to, like, fantasize, like, oh, yeah, like, everyone here thinks I'm beautiful. It's like, as a first grader.
It's those Disney movies. They're teaching us bad values.
Like, they like me in secret.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that book this time around, because you never liked it.
No, but I liked it a lot more as an adult, and I think it was because, like, in high school, when I read it the first time, I had, like, little to no sympathy for Holden and, like, what his whole deal, like, as, like, a 9th grader, I was like, this guy is annoying, he keeps contradicting himself. And then as a senior, I felt like I kind of had to stick to my guns about, because I also liked that I didn't like it, because it's such a classic.
Yeah, because you were controversial.
Yeah, and I was like, this is, like, cool that I have, like, a different opinion. But yeah, I think I found Holden annoying, whereas this time reading it, I, like, he was like a little Elio. Like, I just wanted to put him in my pocket and keep him safe. And
I bet if I read it again, I would feel motherly towards him.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would feel like, you know, this poor boy just like, kind of how I feel about the juvenile delinquents that I would watch in court, where I'm just like, all you need is a good role model and less time on your hands.
It was also funny because the copy that I had used to belong to a student. And so I really loved reading some of the notes that she had placed in the margins. Like, she bracketed an entire paragraph about him describing Sally, like, walking around in her, like, skating skirt. And she bracketed it and wrote,
Sally.
Ho. And I about died. Is that your oven?
Yeah, it has not have been an hour and a half, though. Hold on one second. Hey, Brendan. God. I'm going to text him. For God's sakes. Like, he's 15 feet away from me, but he has his headphones on, I'm sure.
Is Brendan happy to have you back?
Yes. We've been having a great time.
That's great.
Together. Oh, you know what I bet that was? Our dishwasher.
Oh, good call.
Okay, I just texted him, can you please check the potatoes? And he just wrote back, Z, 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 Z. Like he's sleeping.
Oh, B.
God. I said, hey, can you check the potatoes? And then he just wrote, what do you want me to do? I'm like, check the potatoes.
Look at that. Oh, dear God.
Hey, sorry. I just heard a beep, and I just want to make sure it wasn't the oven telling me that my potatoes exploded. God bless them.
Yeah. Well, you don't want all that hard work to go to waste, for sure.
No, peeling potatoes is very laborious.
I don't like it when you get, like, the peels on your hands.
It kind of, like, I feel like
it makes
potatoes don't have acid in them, but yeah, I'm like, why is this hurting me?
Yeah. Speaking of hands being hurt, I wore one of my mom's rings to the wedding last night, slept with it on, and then couldn't get it off this morning. I had to use lotion because my finger had swollen.
I was going to say, you're still wearing it.
No. Yeah, so that was good stuff.
Is everything okay? Yeah, you can speak. He's just gesturing. Okay, thanks. Thank you so much. Love him. Well,
should we talk about the book?
Yes, actually, wait, can I just have one political corner?
Oh my God, always.
Okay. So we went to church tonight at 5:30, and I went for the first time to Boston College's like chapel or whatever, which is like a pretty, like, it's not as big as as good as my undergrads, but it's okay. And I'm sure you've heard about the Pennsylvania police.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to say, as a Catholic, that I have been relieved with the response this time around. Like today, they read, instead of doing a homily, they read a letter from the Archbishop, which completely took responsibility for this happening and being like, listen, like, we did not do a great job, clearly, of protecting children. We did not do a great job of making this, like, something that people could report. We did not do a great job of not continuing to cover this up.
Yeah.
And, like, this is the time of reckoning. And frankly, like, I'm ashamed to be a part of, like, this institution when it's, like, really made some huge mistakes.
Wow.
And anyway, I was just, like, floored and thrilled.
Yeah. That's always,
because
that's nice to have someone. I feel like it's so rare that organizations actually, like, take responsibility for their actions.
Well, and especially the Catholic Church, who's been covering this shit up forever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, anyway, I also got a note from my undergrad about it, which was like of a similar vein.
That's nice.
And just like very supportive of survivors and like, anyway, I'm just very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying to Brendan too, I'm like, listen, like with these, like it kind of reminds me of how I feel about the police sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
When like in general, like I feel like the police are pretty good.
Yeah.
But then you have a few bad apples who
Mm-hmm.
are racist and terrible and like kill somebody wrongfully. And then the police cover it up, and then everybody's like, well, then all of the police are bad, which, like, it's not true, but it makes you suspicious. Whereas I'm like, Brendan was like, well, like, you know, if it came out, then, you know, they would have to, like, deal with that publicity. I'm like, yeah, well, now they're dealing with the publicity of hiding it, and now every priest appears to be
exactly.
a child
it taints,
molester.
Like, the entire organization, as opposed to, like, you feeling trust in the organization because they take responsibility for what happened and
get rid of it. And get rid of the bad apples. Like, it's like prune your tree and, like, let it grow healthy. But now it's like we feel like we have to cut the whole damn tree down because we can't trust any of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Well, it just doesn't make sense to me when groups, like, don't deal with that kind of stuff because it's like they're playing such a short-term game where it's like, no, we don't want people to find out about this. And it's like, okay, but when they do, not if, when they do,
well,
it's really going to be bad.
Well,
and it's also wrong.
Like, we're just going to remove this priest from this parish and stick him at another parish and hope that it won't happen again.
That's
not how it works.
Especially if you've already removed him from a parish before. It's like, why?
Even if you hadn't, though. I mean, if you have 6 children reporting this, I mean, it's not like he's going to be like, well, I've sure seen the error of my ways.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's not how pedophiles work.
No. Ridiculous.
Anyway. Disappointing, but also it does give me hope that the Me Too movement is being heard and is changing the landscape of how this issue is dealt with. And so it gives me some hope for the future. So anyway, that's just like my small political corner that I wanted to throw in there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you know, and the issues of politics and sexual assault are not lost in Valley of the Dolls, so.
No, it's not. They are not.
Should we talk about them, like the girls, like one at a time, do you think?
I think that's how we should do it. Okay. Yeah. But do you want to read the back of the book first?
Yes. My book is not next to me.
I have mine next to me if you want me to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
At a time when women were destined to become housewives, Jacqueline Susan let us dream. Anne, Neely, and Jennifer are ambitious young women in New York City who become best friends as they struggle to make their mark. Eventually, they climb their way to the top of the entertainment industry only to find that there's no place left to go but down into the Valley of the Dolls. 5 decades after it was first published in 1966, Valley of the Dolls remains the all-time pop culture classic, a pioneering work that tackled women's rights, gay rights, drug addiction, and the male literary establishment with signature flair, going on to become one of the world's most popular novels and an influence on generations of cultural icons. Power, money, celebrity, and the deadly seduction of prescription pills. 50 years on, a bedtime dose of Valley of the Dolls is just as indispensable and just as gloriously, scandalously fun as ever. I also love that one of the blurbs for this book is from Michael Kors.
So good.
And Nora Ephron, your girl.
My fave.
Anyway.
Yeah, I do think that this book, like on a general level, is just like so compulsively readable. Like, it's not even like I'm in love with everything that's going on. Because, like, I think with all 3 girls, I'm like, stop what you're doing this instant. Everything's terrible. But I'm just like constantly like, I've got to know what's going on with these ladies and what's going to happen to them.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let's start with Anne.
Okay.
Boring Anne.
Oh, wait, do you want to do favorite, least favorite?
Of the girls? Or period?
Period.
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
Of the girls, I'm going to say Jennifer is my favorite.
Oh, really? Okay, Neely is my favorite.
Okay.
But she's starting to irk me. Period. Henry Bellamy is my favorite. I love him.
Yeah, he is great.
Like, I feel like he genuinely cares about those 3 girls, and, like, he's also just, like, very sweet and fun.
Yes. I would say, like, in terms of me in, like, liking a character for who he is, I would agree with you, Henry. In terms of entertainment value, I like Helen.
Oh, Helen's a treat.
Yeah.
Least favorite, Jennifer's now ex-husband.
Oh, the one who's, like,
Mentally 10.
Yes. That is the weirdest twist.
It's weird, right? Like, and it
basically,
really kind of
for those of you who have not read the book, from Jennifer's perspective, what is that guy's name? Robbie? Who knows?
Something. He's a singer.
Whatever. I don't remember his name. Jennifer's second husband, basically, she really wants to marry him, but his sister is, like, constantly around, like, to a very abnormal extent, so that, like, she pretty much never has a chance to have conversations with him alone. And then it turns out, we hear from the sister's perspective, and it turns out that this man has some condition where he's mentally a 10-year-old. But, like, functions sexually as though he's mature and is bodily mature.
Yeah, I found that
he's not actually 10.
Yeah, I found that all very disturbing.
It's really disturbing, especially since Jennifer doesn't see it.
Right. Well, and it's, like, how the sister, like, enables him, where she's, like, he makes money as a singer, and, like, he doesn't know that he's, like, mentally a 10-year-old, and it's, like, this big secret that he has, like, a mental disability. But then she just, like, basically lets him, like, paw all these women. Because he, like, literally assaults Jennifer several times.
He literally rapes her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like,
I don't think she realizes that it would be rape, but...
Yeah, there's some really interesting moments of this book. Well, like, I mean, it's set in the 40s. In, like, the mid-40s.
Is it?
Yeah. Because I noticed on the day... Which I only noticed when, like, the date changed.
Oh, on the
dates
like, of the chapter, yeah.
Because I feel like it's very, like, there's definitely, like, a lot of the issues that are being dealt with in this book, like ageism and sexism and all that, you know, all the isms that are going on.
I haven't seen the gay rights part yet.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty bad towards gay people so far.
I was like, is it dealing with gay rights in that it's showing us how bad it was? I mean, they're throwing around the word fag quite a lot for my comfort.
And by characters who we're supposed to like. Like, it's not like we're like, wow, bad news. It's like Neely is throwing it all over the place.
That's just, like, what they call gay people. I'm like, no. This is no good. Yeah, well, in that way, it's like you can tell, like, one of the things I kind of like about the book, though, is that, like, you can feel that it was written in the 60s and in, like, a pop culture-y way instead of, like, a book written now that's, like, instead of being, like, Mad Men-esque, where it's, like, really polished and, like, a back view of, like, what the 60s were like. This is, like, even though it's set in the 40s, it just feels very much, like, you can feel that there are elements of it that are, like, pretty dated.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, one of those elements is definitely that, like, Jennifer does not realize, or that we're not meant, I don't think, to even, I don't even know if we're meant to see what he's doing to her as assault.
I don't know that we even are. I mean, it's very clear to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it necessarily would have even been clear in the 60s, because I don't think the idea of, like, having forcible sex with somebody who you're in a relationship would have been considered rape.
Right.
Like, spousal rape is still or not, I guess, is spousal rape not a crime in some states still?
I think so.
Like, in the 70s, I just watched RBG, which, like, honestly, everyone should go see. I cried through it. My dad cried through the whole freaking thing. like, I, like, turned to the side, and he's just, like, weeping. And I'm like, what's going on?
George.
I think it's because he's just... I think it's because he's overwhelmed by, like, the doors now open to me in the legal profession by this woman. So I think that's maybe what it was. But, yeah. Anyway, but they talk about how in 12 states, spousal rape was not considered a crime.
Which is like, okay.
Or, like, it would not be considered rape if you were married, basically.
Yeah.
Which is terrible.
Yeah. All right, so girl by girl, Anne.
Boring
Anne.
Anne makes... She makes New England look like the Ozarks. Like, it's like... I'm like, what? Like, she makes it sound like it is, like, rural and...
Yeah. And Leon's like, no, let's live here. Also...
Yeah.
So it was funny, like, the change that, like, literally, because it's like, as soon as Leon is introduced, you know that there's going to be a thing with her and Anne. Like, that's how romantic comedies, that's how these kind of stories work. And so to me, I was like, when are we going to get rid of her boring fiance, Alan?
Alan. Like, Alan is my least favorite character.
He's horrible.
He's so bad.
Like, you're going to change your mind. She's like, I don't love you. And
I've said it 80 times.
I don't want to get married. Like, that whole part was bizarre. But so I was like, when are she and Leon going to start kissing? And then it starts, and I was like, oh, you're in danger, girl. Like, this is not good.
The way that whole thing went down was actually very surprising to me. Because, frankly, I didn't think Anne had it in her.
No. Well, what's also really interesting to me, and, like, this is highlighted probably the most with Anne, is, like, I feel like there's a lot of talk of women as machinery, or, like, definitely, like, it's highlighting the idea that women are seen largely as objects, because Anne worries a lot about not being, like, a functional woman. Because it's like she's never been in love, and so everyone's like, you're just an icicle. And then
she's never been in love. She doesn't like kissing anybody.
Yeah, until Leon.
Leon.
Right. And so she likes it then, and then when she's like finally able to like have an orgasm, and she's like, I'm a functioning woman, because she was worried before that she wasn't. And so it's like,
who would play Anne in a movie? Like, I mean, if we were going to do current day Valley of the Dolls.
Ooh, okay.
Like, I feel like it'd be like a Natalie Portman, or like somebody who just like looks kind of plain. But like it's very beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like it could be her. Jennifer Lawrence would play, could play Neely or Jennifer.
I feel like Neely.
Yeah.
More than
because Neely's
Jennifer.
like,
I feel like
scrappy.
Yeah. And like Jennifer Lawrence is very beautiful, but like with how much emphasis they place on Jennifer's body also, like, I mean, well, actually, Jennifer Lawrence has a rockin' bod.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's nobody who could play her except for Scarlett Johansson. Pretty much.
Or I feel like if you wanted to do like a little bit of subversive casting, you could cast Ashley Graham or like Kate Upton.
Oh yeah, Kate Upton.
Because I feel like it's like they've basically
it's
made
just
it
boobs.
seem like her boobs are the most important part. But I even like that Jennifer is like, look, I have no talent. I'm all looks. So I'm just trying
not
to make
even
the most
looks.
of it.
I'm like just boobs.
Yeah.
Straight up boobs.
And I get it.
Yeah. You know, good. You
good
work
for
what
her.
you got, girl.
Good for her. But yeah, Anne is definitely very interesting. And like, because she's the first one we're introduced to, I am like, and I think Neely becomes kind of a bummer, and so does Jennifer. So it's like Anne's story is like the one that I'm like, oh, okay, Anne's chapters. These are...
See, for me, I'm so bored by her. I'm like, let's get some more drugs.
I don't get her at all. This Anne.
Who, Anne?
Yeah, she just doesn't. She doesn't do anything the way that I would do it.
Well, she doesn't do anything really in a way that makes sense with what we've known about her in the past either.
Yeah.
Like, because I was just very confused by the fact that, which, like, I'm not placing blame, I'm not judging, but it's very confusing to me that she basically says to Alan, like, I'm not interested, I don't love you, but then goes out with him every night of the week.
Yeah. Well,
like,
she,
I'm like,
like,
why?
Says she started to become fond of him.
Right, but, like, was the ultimate goal to be like, yeah, I could tolerate him, like, maybe I will marry him? Because it seems like that's what people were telling her to do, but she's like, no, I want to work forever.
Yeah. It's interesting.
And then it doesn't, like, I don't, like, really understand her obsession with working either.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I guess it all comes down to her hating her hometown and, like, the ideas that go with her hometown. So she basically is like, I'm going to do anything against what my hometown would do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know.
She just doesn't want to do, like, what her town expects of her. But, you know, I don't know.
I also think it's a little bit harsh for her to, like, not have any feelings for her mother, even though, like, it's not like her mother was abusive.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, she was just kind of, like,
was
New England cold.
Yeah, exactly. And then she's like, yeah, she died, so...
Well, it's like, Anne, you also are New England cold, so...
Yeah. Jesus. I do enjoy her friendship with Helen. I think that's a fun shade.
That is a fun time.
Then it really blows
But also
up
weird. I'm like, why do all these people like her? I think what it is that all of these, like, diva women basically are like, Anne is very beautiful and Anne is, like, you know, somebody who looks good to be with, but she also will never usurp me.
No, yeah, exactly. She will never upstage you. She's so boring.
Yeah.
Well, she's about to become a model. So, which is also something she was like, I don't want to. She does fall into that category that's kind of annoying of, like, we're told constantly that she's just, like, obscenely beautiful. And she's like, what? I don't even wear makeup. I don't see what all the fuss is about me. And it's like, shut up. Everyone who's pretty knows that they're pretty.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think, yeah, she's very determined to be, like, kind of dowdy.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, dress to your heart, but Anne.
I like how Jennifer has a compulsive shopping habit and just gives Anne all of her clothes because she's like, I just like buying them.
Yeah, she's like, I just get tired of it. I mean, Jennifer's kind of fascinating because it's like, at first you just think that she's like just kind of a pretty face, and then you see that she's had this whole like secret life and she's like on the run and she was with a woman and...
Oh, yeah, and like that came as a shock to me,
like
that whole weird
I wonder if, like, that's where they're talking about, like, gay rights, because it's, like, Jennifer is, like, pretty clearly sexually fluid. Like, because it's in no way suggesting that she is a lesbian, and it's also not suggesting that, like, it's, like, it demonstrates that she was, like, very much into Maria, but then also, like, interested in men as well.
Yeah, but she also, well, I mean, yeah, she, like, the Maria thing is kind of weird because I sort of feel like Maria, like, kept her captive, too.
Yeah, there was that whole element of that.
Yeah, so...
Well, I just think that we're constantly shown how these women are valued solely for their bodies and for their looks, and that, like, that both is how they find success in their world, and also is how they are, like... completely mistreated. So it's like everything Jennifer has and everything Jennifer has been punished for is about, like, her looks, I think.
Well, and the other thing that's really like, upsetting to me is that Helen, who's like basically supposed to be like an old fogey,
is 34.
Like 35 years old? Like, are you kidding me?
And they're like, oh, she really has gained a bit of weight in her old age.
She's very thick in the waist. Like, what? I mean, it's like, have you guys seen Jennifer Aniston? Because she is doing great.
Yeah,
and like J-Lo.
Yeah, it's like, sorry. Yeah, so that, I mean, that's
sorry.
definitely nice to know that we've moved at least a little beyond that. But yeah, the idea that like whenever I picture Helen, I literally picture a woman who is like Meryl Streep's age.
I know,
and
same.
I have to remind myself that she's only 34. And it's like a bizarre...
Which,
like the image I have of Helen,
a 34-year-old doesn't look that different than us.
No, they really don't.
Because we're supposed to be Jennifer's age, who's like pushing age. Like,
yeah, because they're all trying to lie to say that they're like 19 years old, and I was like, ugh, that seems horrible.
Yuck.
Yeah, so I mean, Neely is kind of my favorite because at first you can see like she gains fame and notoriety like not for her looks but for her talent. Yeah. But now that she's got fame, it's like she's turning into a total monster.
Well, and it's kind of a little bit like a Norma Desmond deal where, like, she's doing so much crap to make herself look the way that Hollywood needs her to look and is making herself so sick.
Yeah.
Like, she basically is, like, subsisting on diet and sleeping pills.
Well, and you see, like, how her value system changes where, like, before she was like, I just want to work steadily. Like, I don't care if I just do, like, bit parts in shows forever. I just want to work and, like, be with this guy. And we're with Mel. And we're, like, in love with each other. And it's all going to be perfect. Right. And I'll, like, become a mom. And then now we're seeing that she's like, no, I'm ditching Mel. I'm a big movie star now. I'm going to be with other people. And...
Well, and Artie is with other people. She's cheating on him.
Yeah. Which I found that sad because I liked Mel.
I know. Mel just seemed like the last decent guy.
I know.
In this book. Besides Henry.
Oh, Henry.
Who's too old for them.
Yeah. He's probably also just like 35. Like.
Well, I think he could probably be 40 since he's probably a little older than Helen.
I hope he marries Anne.
Henry?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think Anne's going to overdose on sleeping pills.
All of them are.
I think probably, so like, Predictions Corner, at least one of them has to die of a sleeping pill overdose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jennifer.
I was going to say, it probably will be Jennifer because I think she's the Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, well, she's the one who, that's who Sharon Tate played in the movie version.
Oh, okay.
She played Jennifer.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, I've looked at the women on it and, like, they all look the same.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, so I think Jennifer's probably toast.
Yeah.
But I think also Jennifer can't be... Like, Anne has to be the main protagonist because Anne has values that are acceptable in the 1960s, and Jennifer does not.
Yeah, she's, like, going off to do porn at this point, so I'm like, okay.
I know. Well, yeah, in Europe or whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, what am I going to do? Be in regular movies? I have no talent.
You know, she reminds me of that girl in Manhattan Beach who we liked.
Oh, yeah, had the fun friend who was, like, the mistress.
Yeah, and, like, had abortions. What was her name?
Oh, God. I don't remember. It's something like Mickey or, like, Mitzi or, like...
Is her name also Nellie?
It might be.
Nell! Yeah, it is Nell!
She was great.
Yeah. She reminds me of Nell, kind of, where it's like, we can enjoy her and spend time with her, but ultimately, the storyline we're supposed to be interested in is Anne's.
Yeah.
Let me also just talk a little bit about Leon. That's what it is. All of a sudden, I'm like, what's that name? Yeah. Leon is literally guy on your MFA.
Yes, he is trash.
So annoying.
Well, and it's like he's so, because I think like Jacqueline Susan does such a good job of like giving us very small tastes of Leon in the beginning. So it's like you understand his appeal completely. Like he
would be played by Leonardo DiCaprio, a young Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, just like you totally get it. Like he is like flirting with Anne in this very like low-key way. Like I would be totally obsessed with him.
Oh my God, what if he was played by Idris Elba?
He'd be so good at it.
Actually, like I want Idris Elba to be Henry because I want him to be fatherly and good.
Yes. That's beautiful.
Michael B. Jordan could be Leon.
Oh my God. With that little smile of his, he'd be perfect.
Oh God, making me miss that bailiff who looked exactly like Michael B. Jordan and would say, "There she is," every time he saw me in the hall.
Oh my God,
like,
I would crumble.
Listen, I'm a married woman, but it doesn't mean I don't like this.
Yeah, so I completely and totally get the appeal of Leon, and then literally as soon as they sleep together, I was like, run for your life.
I know.
He is trash. He was like,
see,
just
actually,
so you know, like
I thought he was trash pretty much the first time they had dinner and talked about how he wants to be a writer. I'm like, all right, Tim O'Brien, we get it, but you went to war. You have had. Which, by the way, I think Tim O'Brien's a great writer, and I hope you read The Things They Carried with Your Students. Great book. But not everyone is Tim O'Brien.
Yeah.
And you have no writing experience in the past. You've never expressed writing interest. And then all of a sudden it's like, I'm giving up everything for my writing. Like, what?
It's such an insane thing to do. He's like, I think you and all my relationships are holding me back from my calling. It's like, you're so annoying.
So I'm going to move to Europe and focus on that.
Yeah.
It's like, just because you're afraid of commitment, Leon, doesn't mean you have to like run across the pond and quit your job.
And live in like a cabin with no heat.
God, that I have no patience for that kind of crap.
No.
So I guess that's what they mean on the back of the book by, what is it? Like the male literati or something.
Yeah.
The
male literary establishment.
Yeah, LOL.
Well, it is interesting because for a long time, novel writing was considered something that was like deeply feminine. And I feel like it was after like modernism.
This is a memoir.
What?
Wouldn't this be a memoir that he's writing?
Oh, right. But I just mean like in the 60s and stuff, it's like all the writers were like douchebag dudes, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like once Hemingway hit the scene, men were like, oh yeah, this can be manly.
Yeah. It's like, this seems great. Like,
yeah, like I just like to pour myself 2 fingers of whiskey and like sit down on my typewriter and, you know, after fishing for a few hours.
Yeah, and then just be honest. So that's
and
what
then
writing is.
I smoke cigarettes all day. The worst.
Sounds great.
The worst. So what's your general vibe of the book so far? You're enjoying it?
Yes, I'm enjoying it. At first I found it a little boring.
Same.
Like the first,
the long Anne chapter. I also hate how it's very not broken up.
Yeah. That does make it hard. But I don't know when it was that then it started going, because at first I think
probably
like
after you finished the first Anne chapter.
No, it was like the first, I feel like 50 pages or so. I found it like a little hard to get into, but then after that it was like very fast reading.
Once Leon hit the scene.
Mm-hmm.
There is raunchy sex in this.
Yeah, there is.
Also, I will say.
It's like pretty shocking. Like, I imagine this book was a scandal when it came out in 1966.
So I read another Jacqueline Susan book when I was in high school called The Love Machine.
Oh.
which is exactly what it sounds like. And I remember reading it on my Christmas break and being like, oh, I should not be reading this. I'm not allowed to be reading this. But didn't stop me. But it's like, it's in a very similar vein. And I enjoyed it. But this is definitely the classic, though.
Yeah. Well, and I do think it's pretty shocking that, like, it's set in the 40s and it's like pretty sex positive, I think. But it's definitely also, like sex realistic.
Way. Yeah. In terms of, like, the idea that, like, showing women who are quote unquote good girls who are having sex outside of marriage.
Yeah.
Because Anne, I think, would be, from the beginning, considered a good girl. And I'd say still would be at this point.
Yeah. For sure.
But I don't know. It's...
They're all heading for trouble.
I think things are gonna really fall apart quickly.
Yeah. Do you think Leon's gonna come back or something, or like?
Yes, I'm certain he will come back.
Like, where
they're not gonna get married though.
No, it's like, where's Anne's story even going if Leon doesn't come back?
No, Leon has to come back. Leon will probably come back married to a French woman like Mr. Big. But yeah, I think he'll come back. Maybe he will come back attached to somebody, and that's going to send Anne right over the edge.
Yeah.
That's my prediction for Anne.
I think Neely is going to, like, lose everything. Like, her whole, like, stardom and career. Or
I think Anne's going to have to go back to Lawrenceville, too.
And Jennifer's going to die.
Jennifer's going to die. Jennifer, just because she is the most raunchy character of the bunch, cannot live. Because we cannot have women like that around in literature.
And she's also the only one that is purely trading on her looks. And it's like, and you see why she's doing it. It's because she's been, like, totally disenfranchised her whole life. And, like,
well, she also has had, like, a horrible family.
Yeah. And so, like, she's just doing what she can to get by. And so it's like you have a lot of sympathy for her instead of, I think, most or, like, lesser books would have you be like, oh, Jennifer, like, she's just, like, getting off on her looks or whatever. But this book shows that, like, women who are doing that are doing it for a reason, not just because they're, like, lazy.
I also think Jennifer's actually pretty nice, too.
Yeah, she is nice.
Like, I mean...
She's nice to Anne when Helen is a monster to her.
She's also nice to Anne, like, without having any idea really who Anne is.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone's nice to Anne initially because they're like, oh, you're engaged to Alan.
Yeah.
And then once she has that street cred, then she's, like, in with everybody. But, like, I don't know that Jennifer cares about that. Because Jennifer, I just think, has no friends.
Yeah. Well, I think she's been afraid to make friends because she's afraid Maria is going to find her.
Yeah. Well, I flippantly tweeted that everyone in this book is a Slytherin.
I think you're 100% right.
I mean, I was going to say... I'm not sure Jennifer's a Slytherin.
I think she's a Slytherin still.
I think Jennifer might be a Hufflepuff who's just been taken advantage of. Well, because I don't think that Jennifer actually has that much ambition. I think Jennifer's just trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, but I think that is a very Slytherin-y thing to do. And the way that she's, like, trying to stay afloat is, like, through notoriety.
Right, but I don't think she really cares about that.
Cafe job.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I think she also is being so pumped for money by her mom.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I think maybe Jennifer... Yeah, I'm going to say Jennifer might be a Hufflepuff.
I mean, I believe that Henry is a Hufflepuff.
That's fair. I could see that. Like, you said he reminds you of Ernie Macmillan. I said he might remind me of Slughorn.
Either way, I feel like that's fair.
Yeah.
Ernie Macmillan, he's my favorite. My favorite little Hufflepuff.
I like Justin Finch Fletchley. From book 2 when he calls Harry out for sending a snake at him.
That's what's so good about the earlier book. That one bit. Oh, what is it? And I think it's in book 6 or something. And Harry, like, where everyone's like talking shit about Harry for being a bad Quidditch captain. He's like, whatever. People have said so much worse about me.
I know.
Honestly, this is a nice change of pace.
Harry. Yeah, Anne's a squib. Like, she's so boring. Like, Anne's, like, maybe a Ravenclaw, I guess. I don't know. But I think Neely's a straight-up Slytherin.
Yeah, she is. She's 100%. She's hustling. But like, she also has the talent to back it up, which is what I think is nice. Is, like, she's working her ass off. And, like, always has been. And, like, she is, like, fighting and clawing and, like, doing whatever she can. And then, like, but then you see how...
She's also not sleeping her way to the top, though, or anything, either. Like, she's getting roles because she's good.
Right. But then you also see how fame instantly changes her. And, like, getting all the reviews and, like, all that stuff. And you're like, oh, no. Because at first I was like, Neely's the best. Like, she cannot be compromised. I love her. And then when you see that chapter with her and Jennifer, I was like, oh, fuck. She's, like, taking diet pills, and she's less than 100 pounds. I was like, oh, Jesus. This is horrible.
Well, and you see, too, like, she's talking bad about, like, that, like, purple taffeta dress that she used to love so much. It's like, oh, Neely, don't lose yourself.
I know. She was like, obviously I have great taste in clothes, and everyone's like, throw everything away. Which, like, I found that so endearing. Like, I feel like it is a very endearing thing for a young girl to really believe that she has great style when, in fact, she's buying heinous clothes.
Yes, I was one of those.
Yeah, same. I was definitely up to no good with my clothes in high school.
God, I have this one outfit. We can maybe post it on the Instagram. Like, I just thought I looked so good. I was wearing brown tights with gray socks over them. A brown skirt. And, like, with a yellow cardigan. Like, it's like, what? In a red bow in my hair. I'm like, girl, what are you doing?
Look, the early aughts were a troubling time to find your fashion in. For sure.
I mean, this wasn't even the early aughts. This was, like, high school.
Yeah.
This was, like, when I was trying to be a manic pixie dream girl and just, like, wear outfits where it's like, that's interesting. God. Huh. Okay, so the predictions are Anne is going to have to go back to Lawrenceville.
Yeah.
Neely is going to lose everything and basically become a beggar on the street.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer will die.
Yeah, I don't really know that we're fully heading for a happy ending here.
Maybe Henry is going to be doing fine.
Oh my God.
All I can hope for.
Yeah.
Maybe Alan will be doing fine. God, hate Alan. He reminds me of Buddy Willard, too. Like,
yeah,
hey, I
too.
know you should be so honored to marry me. Like, what?
Yeah, he sucks.
But, like, I just don't think Leon's really all that much better.
No. Yeah, well, and I think this book is also kind of a commentary on, like, women, you know, like, similar to Jane Austen's time, are still very beholden to men, and men in this book are all pretty much bad.
Except for Henry, the one good man.
Yeah.
But even Henry has to, like, do some pretty low stuff.
Yeah, like, kick people out of Helen's shows.
Yeah. The only woman he ever loved.
I know. That's very sad.
That fat 35-year-old. Oh, God. Like, I guess maybe it's because Botox didn't exist then. So, like, when you were 35, I guess, like, maybe we don't have a realistic idea of what 35 looks like on celebrities.
Yeah, maybe not, but still, I'm like, I don't know.
I actually went to the dermatologist and asked if I could get Botox for my hatchet mark in my forehead.
What did they say?
She said, you can. You also are 26. Like, she's like, I mean, I'm not going to say no if you want this. And then I asked her, I was like, will I still be able to narrow my eyes at people? And she said no. And I'm like, I'm not willing to give that up.
Yeah, no, you need that expression for sure.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's when I use the most because I have a deep line there. Whatever. I'll wait until, things get more dire, I guess.
Yeah.
With it. But for now, I'll leave it.
That's probably smart.
Yeah. Anyway. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to say about it.
No, me neither. But I mean, so you're starting law school this week, right?
I have orientation on Thursday. So, like,
Okay.
I don't actually start class till next week, but...
Okay. My job
sort of
starts Monday, so tomorrow, as we're recording this, but I don't know when it'll be posted.
Wait,
so,
you start school tomorrow?
So the first day of school is not tomorrow, but we have orientation, and then there's like kind of a like week. So we start the Tuesday after Labor Day. That's when the first day of school is. But before that is like, it's like kind of a getting ready period. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. And then it gives me a lot of time to like kind of figure out my classroom and also like prepare a little bit more. So that's good.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
I know. I'm excited, but it's like, it's more the minutia, I feel like, of teaching that's really intimidating to me, because it's like, I don't, like, it's like the day-to-day plan as opposed to like, I don't know, like, I'm not nervous about like being in the room and like hanging out with 9th graders and 11th graders every day. It's more like actually having a plan of attack and like developing assignments and stuff like that.
I mean, when in doubt, just do an in-class essay.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is the most hated activity.
Yeah, let's just have a discussion.
Yeah, discussion. My junior year, our entire English class was discussion.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I would really like it to be, because I think that's what's a lot more valuable, and that'll help them in like getting ideas for papers and stuff. But yeah, so I don't know. I also have to do daily grammar practice with them, which like LOL.
I mean, it's very helpful.
I know, it really is. Like, I think it's like such a good idea, but I'm like, oh, I think I'll be learning along with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I feel like with a lot of grammar rules, I just have to like reread the page a few times. I'm like, okay, now I got it. Like the difference between that and which, I'm like, okay. I never remember that one.
No.
Oh, you know what I was thinking? Actually, we could talk about this off air. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have to say about this. We'll finish it, soon.
At some point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Follow us on our social medias. We like that.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I wanted to give a shout out to that girl who commented on our post, who was a stranger.
Oh, yeah. Stranger
I won't
comments.
use her name, but I'll use her Insta handle.
And then there was another woman on Twitter who recommended us to somebody who was looking for indie podcasts that were not about true crime, which is something that is a category we fall into. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Her name is, I think it's Jean Bow. Mm-hmm. Is how I maybe say it? I don't know. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Anyway, we loved hearing from you, so thank you so much for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
All right. Bye.
Bye.